Oops.
Attention, everybody. The views and opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily those of Acts Ministry, Acts Media Group, and/or its affiliate and supported ministries and/or nonprofits. Some of this content may be adult in nature, so please use discretion while watching with your kids. Got a low voice today.
I was going to say, as tired as you are.
Yeah.
I'm very.
Let's try my deep voice here. Good morning. Coming to you live from Axe Media Group headquarters here in beautiful Springfield, Missouri. It's The Morning Drive with Matt and Jay with your hosts, Matt and Jay. Steve Mickey Mactastic in the seat with us. Looking fantastic.
Thank you.
I rhyme. All right.
Yeah.
Today's topic, signs of summer.
And definitely that's what it is today.
I gotta get my bikini out, get the mothballs out of it.
I gotta wax my feet.
You beat me to that. I was gonna, not that you need to wax your bikini, but
No, I don't need anything waxed.
no, because trust me on this, it is not a pleasant experience. It is not a pleasant experience. You think, hey, that's interesting. No, it hurts. You're basically pouring molten wax on your body, letting it cool off enough to grab the wax and rip it off of your body, which makes it rip the hair out.
Yeah, and then you're red all over. Looks like the sunburn because you've ripped out.
Oh yeah, not to mention the actual burn, accompanied by the acne that is potential.
Ingrown hair.
Ingrown hair. Yeah, that and just regular like little acne.
Are you guys, is this your subtle way of telling me I need to shave?
No, we're talking about waxing.
Maybe it's just my
Body waxing.
Oh yeah,
is
just being self-conscious. I do need to shave. It's
I think
bad.
it looks rugged and manly.
It's getting in my food, and my drinks now.
Well, I mean, that's just that's what we call zest.
That's right.
That's what I call. Bleh.
I hate it whenever I can't eat anything without
that's good.
without having to do this afterwards.
There's no worse hair to have in the back of your throat than a beard hair.
Yeah, well,
that's true.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Oh,
it looked like Octavia.
or in your eye.
Oh man, eyelashes are bad enough. Beard hair.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, beard hair and eyelash hair are basically the same hair.
Well, yeah, but see,
Some hairs are grayer than others.
When the eyelash gets in your eye,
What?
So what are you trying to say? Is that your way of saying that I'm turning gray?
Boy, you're awfully sensitive today, Jay.
Ooh.
Sensitive.
I think it looks.
with a smile.
I think it looks distinguishing.
It is a distinguished gentleman.
Oh, distinguishing. You trying to say I'm old?
He can look. He can be on the cover. Of
You try.
GQ.
Is that your nice way of saying I'm odd
No.
or different or weird?
Hey, I'm trying to be nice over here by saying you could be on the front cover of GQ. All right.
Which GQ? Is that like? Is that what is GQ? It's a magazine.
Yes.
Is it like for old people?
Hey, you said it. He said it.
Is it like an AARP magazine?
No.
You're not at AARP age yet, are you?
I think
you know
probably.
how many cards I get a week?
Well, yeah, because they know you're definitely AARP
I think
material.
51 is considered.
51?
51 is considered. I think. What is it called?
Have you got your
Senior.
Middle age.
Have you got
Senior.
your discount yet? I mean, have you got your senior
I haven't
discount?
used it, but I've used it once. But I do get one if they offer it.
Yeah,
Really?
I get a coffee discount in McDonald's.
Do you? Yeah.
Yeah, they 25 cents.
They just automatically apply it with you, or do you have to ask?
No, they just say I just asked for. Can I have a senior coffee? Sure.
You tell them what's better, the senior or the veteran?
Yeah. Actually, you know what they told me yesterday?
What about
at this
senior
restaurant?
veteran? That's like a super stacked.
They
Dude,
told me
get
at
it.
this
It's like a
restaurant
double
yesterday,
coupon.
In the drive-through, they said, well, actually, we can give you a senior discount is better than a veteran, or they'll say, well, we can, in place of a veteran, we can give you, and they gave me a really good discount. And I'm like, shoot, I'll just say I'm a senior.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you are.
Even though you're just 25.
Thank you. I really like this
It's been
guy.
a hard life, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Wore you down.
Yeah. and then some.
Good morning, Larry Melton. Speaking of hard life and wearing you down, being worn down, Larry likes to beat himself up. Apparently, you know, with you know, you don't like to beat yourself up.
Whoa.
He's a tough man. You're a tough
He's
man,
a tough
Larry.
guy.
As much as
he
he's
is.
been through, shoot.
Well, I hope he's careful though.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
I hate seeing him even
He's
worse
been through a
off than
lot,
he
and
is.
for him to go through what he's been through, man, it's like 9 lives.
Yeah. When I worked at Lowe's, people would call and ask me things like, "How thick is a 2x4?" It's actually
1.5.
it's actually 1.5 by 3.5. I think they just call it a 2x4. But I mean that, and it may have been 2 inches by 4 inches at one time.
I was just gonna say
It was.
After being planed down, though, it's more like 2 3/4.
Well, there was a
1
lumber
3/4.
crisis or something, and so they started to reduce the dimensions of it because of they couldn't get enough out of what they were harvesting.
Yeah.
Well, could you imagine putting buildings together with 1.5 inches and
They do.
Yeah.
They do. They figure that in. So
What's that now?
they figured in for not being a full 2 inches.
Oh yeah, the engineers have that figured out.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
And I'm
So-
pretty sure they measured the boards before they use them.
Like if you're doing a floor joist, you have to have a beam. If it's a 2x6, there has to be a beam every 6 feet. If it's an 8, you got to do 8 feet. A 12, it has to be 12 feet.
Makes
So
sense.
if you have a 24-foot wide span that you want to run rafters over, you have to have a 24-inch rafter or joist.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about the Velociraptor? Those are pretty
Sounds
rough.
like a dinosaur.
Those
They
are
are.
hard. Yeah, it is. That's why I said that.
I figured.
I sense the confusion of Middle Ages coming on, bro.
This is not
Velociraptor
the
is
Dark
rough.
Ages.
How about
he combines a dog joke with a dinosaur joke?
Of
and
course
it's a
he does.
dogosaur,
A
a
dogosaur.
Dogosaurus Rex. His name is Rex.
You know they do call the dogs Rex. For a
I know.
reason.
That's what I'm saying. It's funny that I was kind of proud of that. That was so stupid. It was funny.
Yeah.
So today we're talking about signs of summer, and the reason why it's not what you think.
Mosquitoes.
It's actually all of Matthew 24 that's relevant to this.
Oh yeah. So we're going to read Matthew chapter 24, which is Jesus predicting the destruction of the temple. The destruction of the temple. So, sorry. And you'll see where we came up with that. Now, there's all kinds of things you can do to prepare for summer. But in this case, summer is metaphorical. I mean, I guess you can actually prepare for summer by, working on your bod, waxing things, shaving your back hair and gluing it to the top of your head, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
But in all seriousness,
getting
Matthew 24,
sunburns and-
now I love this because it's like the words are in red.
Yeah.
Written in red. All right.
Yeah.
Red
So,
letter edition, bro.
you know what that means? That means Jesus himself.
Why don't we
is
go ahead
speaking.
to a commercial and we'll be right back.
People that have mental illness are not weak. They're the strongest people I know because we've had to endure so much.
Loud. Yeah, you can turn.
And we're
Actually,
back.
you can actually turn the individual slide down.
Actually, that was well said.
Yeah.
That was well said. I really appreciate her, and she
Yeah,
does
she's-
represent
she's a
NAMI
great
very
lady.
well.
Yeah. I mean, I guess agoraphobia is what she suffered from, which is fear of open spaces or something to that extent.
Yeah,
and
she's something
it's-
else.
It's,
I mean, she's
or fear of being in public or something. Good morning, Susan Burrows. We're glad to have you on with us today. Talking about prepare for summer, and you'll see why. Now, what version was that you read out of, Jay Dizzle?
I'm in the New King James.
Me too.
hey, imagine that.
Yeah, it's the book of Matthew. That's where I'm at.
All right. Hey, that's a good book.
So I am in the New King James, right here, Matthew.
All right.
Yes.
That's a good book.
I should read I should have earlier in my life read a a chapter of Matthew each year on my birthday
That would have been good.
on whatever number I was. Anyways, on whatever year birthday it was. So Jesus predicts the destruction of the temple. Chapter 24, verse 1. Then Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came up to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said to them, "Do you not see all these things? Assuredly, I say to you that not one stone shall be left here upon another that shall not be thrown down." And now, as he sat on the Mount of Olives, which, I'm pretty sure there were actually olives there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's all of it. I think all of it, right? Not how you say
All
it.
of it.
All of it. Yeah. The disciples came to him privately saying, "Tell us, when will these things be? And what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age?" Jesus answered and said to them, and I love it how Jesus answered and said, that's in a lot. That's said a lot in the book of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Take heed that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name, saying, "I am the Christ," and will deceive many. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not troubled, for all. Then that's okay. So that's the part that Jay and I, and I'm sure you guys do. You do too, Steve. That you take out of all of these end of time, end of.
Yeah, I heard that too.
It's that was weird.
One side cut out.
Okay, good. That wasn't me. Whew.
Yep.
That was awkward. I thought I was going crazy or having a stroke.
You wasn't going crazy this time.
You heard it too?
Yeah.
I thought I was having a stroke or something. I was like, "Oh no!"
Anyway, go on.
See that you are not troubled.
Do not be troubled. Yep. See that you are not troubled. That's what we should take away from this.
Not to predict a day.
Not to predict the
But
day.
to always feel like the end is near, because
Always
it is
be
near.
ready.
Always be ready and not to fear.
Be watchful
Don't
and be
troubled.
ready.
Know that it all needs to come to pass.
Mm-hmm.
But the end is not yet. So this stuff is going to happen before the end.
Oh yeah.
And I think we will still be here for that. Then now there's people who believe we will be raptured first, and some believe that we will not be. So, the one thing I focus here is, regardless, if we're raptured first, we don't need to worry about it. But if we aren't, we still don't need to worry about it.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
Jesus said not to.
Be brave
Right.
and have courage. Have faith.
Yeah.
Not really courage, but faith.
Be courageous.
Courage, I think, is probably a feeling of self-adequacy. Like you're adequate, so you have courage, or even though you're fearful, you will face this and be brave. But I think maybe it's not courage, but have faith
Right.
that God will intervene, or whatever the outcome for you is His intended outcome, and that it serves His purpose.
Right.
He knows the numbers of the hairs on your head.
Yeah.
So
Or the numbers of hairs not on your head too.
Yeah.
well, speak for yourself.
I am speaking for myself, because I am a dashing balding gentleman.
Yes.
Sorry.
Not going there.
For nation will, this is where it gets a bit sad and worrisome for some people. But that's why he said, do not lose heart, for these things must come to pass. That has to happen. It has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
In order for everything to go according to plan, where we spend eternity with Him. Capital H, Him.
Right.
For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in various places. All these things are the beginning of sorrows.
Yeah. So I think, to me, I think it's premature to say that it could be so close, because that makes me think, okay, nation rise against nation. How would you predict a time being like within your lifetime or something when that's happened
Hi, Jackie.
since the dawn of civilization? Since people started to band together and have societies and nations. That's always been that way. But I think the part that we have to include is, and it's not through media that we will
Bob
be
Dixon.
aware of the pestilence and the earthquakes and the what does it say? Pestilence, earthquakes, and in various places. I think we will all have some close
Wars and rumors of
experience
wars.
with
We'll
that.
be witnesses.
But wars and rumors of wars has always been. I
Yeah.
think the determining factor will be to me, in my opinion of it, and since I've been hearing the same thing since I was old enough to understand words, that the end is, oh, he's coming. There's been 2 generations that would not have existed if people were right in my lifetime about this prediction.
Well,
And
my
I
mom
just-
is in her 70s,
Yeah.
and they've been saying it since she was a baby.
Yeah, they've been saying it for a long time.
Yeah.
And
So I think the thing
No
really
one
to
knows.
look for is when we are all touched in some way by the pestilence. Because remember how God cursed the earth for Adam's sake?
Yeah.
This is the earth.
yeah, it's the same earth.
Pestilence and
But it's cursed.
famines and earthquakes. That's the earth.
Yeah.
That's the curse of the earth that will then be coming against mankind. And that doesn't exclude anybody. So hearing about it all on social media makes it seem nearer than it is, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying don't be prepared either. I'm saying always be prepared. But I think that the earth will come against us in a much more personal way than what social media would make us feel.
Right.
But maybe it is a prediction of social media that we will all feel like the earth is coming against us because of social media.
Nation against nation.
But I personally
I don't think so either. I think it's actual
Because-
conflict, wars,
Well,
and rumors of wars.
rumors.
earthquakes.
Maybe rumors does mean that social media will make us feel like the earth is coming against us, because that is a
Good-
rumor. It
That
could
is a
be-
good possibility.
And they're doing that now anyway.
At this
well,
point,
and it says, and there will be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes. So that kind of does separate that from the rumors of wars. So I'm not sure about that. It just seems like there's more in there than what we more commonly
right.
are taught.
Yeah. And, there's no way to know. That's why he says, don't lose heart. Because when you feel like the world is coming against you, you're going to lose heart. It's going to be hard. Well, it's going to be hard not to lose heart.
Yeah.
We, even in our day-to-day stuff, it's hard not to lose heart sometimes.
Yeah.
You got so much stuff going on. It's like, man, I just get the horse poo cleaned up, but the flies are still there and they're getting thicker. What's up?
Yeah.
That's a weird analogy, but you get it.
I know.
Well, it's like nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. Our
That's
children
happened
marching
since the
off to
beginning of
work to
time.
never come home again. And then all of a sudden, the earth itself comes against us.
Yeah.
And it's like, where will there be any relief from this?
Right.
How can we escape it? It doesn't seem like there's an escape of it. And it doesn't seem like a rumor of, social media making us feel like the earthquakes and the pestilence and the famines are all so close to us.
Yeah.
It seems to me that this is saying that we will all suffer through it.
Yeah. Yeah, we all will. I
It's suffering through famine while we in America are basically getting fat and well fed. I don't think it's fair to predict the end of times when we are so well
Good morning,
fed.
whoever is posting his Axe Media Group. Larry Melton says, no, Dennis, it sounds great to me. Everyone else find the audio a little staticky. No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's that mic. It's the mic.
Anyways, sorry. That could entertain me for hours.
Which reminds me.
Speaking of entertaining for hours, Axe Fest is coming up. Here's a little word about it.
That's very.
Smiling and waiting for his turn to talk, which sometimes doesn't come.
Yeah, silver linings.
Just like this. You see that? I just interrupted you on purpose. Anyway, silver linings. What?
Silver linings is what I think of.
Yeah. Well, that is the name of your show, which is on Wednesday,
Wednesday.
Wednesday mornings.
Yep.
In place of the morning drive.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be actually the morning drive Silver Linings edition of the morning drive.
Yes. Yeah, that's a
So,
good way of putting it.
You know, sometimes you just need some positivity in your day, in your week. If you're going through the week, you're having a rough time, you know, your boss is mad at you. You know, you're a supervisor and your employees are not acting right. So things are stressful. Sometimes you need a little bit of silver linings on that cloud.
Amen.
But, you know, cloudy skies with a bunch of silver linings is actually quite beautiful.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Because, you know, the contrast is beautiful. You know, darkness, rain, storms, light, sun, you know, it's
Warmth.
bursting over the edges and just, anyways,
That can be signs of summer.
that can be, well, signs of something. Summer,
Yeah. True.
I guess
That's tomorrow
winter?
morning.
that is tomorrow morning. You have
Right
a
here.
guest?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's video. And by the way, got the information. I'm going to have Rossell call you in the morning
At
at 7:15.
7:15
7:15?
Yep. So you
Oh,
guys,
yeah.
to coach her through the link.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Have her prepared.
because she's got a headset and she wants to make sure everything's
Or 7:30 probably would be better, wouldn't you say?
No.
Okay. So 7:15, Rossell? We'll
Yeah.
talk
and
to you then.
Because I'm not completely comfortable with this. And the last time I tried it, something went wrong and I still don't know what. So
It is a little bit nerve-wracking.
coaching through a phone call and getting all that, you know, it'd be good if you were here, but
Oh yeah,
if you're not
I'll be
here
here.
at
I'll be able to catch up
7:15,
on my.
it'll take me 45 minutes.
I will
to get it
I will
right.
catch up on my sleep. So, I'm really
Barney needs to go to the emergency room too. He was going to ask you to take him or get an ambulance.
Oh man. Well, that's going to be tough. I'm
Yeah.
so exhausted.
Yeah.
But he maybe if he takes an ambulance.
I don't think you can go in.
You know, I'm not sure. I think I'm not sure what that is. There's a whole new, I guess, variant of what you call it, the COVID.
By the way, somebody in Branson has, I don't know if it's variant or if she just has it, but I'm like, oh man, that's all we need is to have this start all over again in Branson.
Well, people aren't paying as much attention to it as they were.
That's true.
And you know,
She's isolated now anyway.
yeah, quarantined, isolated.
For the
That's
next
right.
10 days.
I got an employee that is out with that now too. So, and then that happens, unfortunately. So must be my headphones. Dennis Everson says, the Earth can only support so many people, and we are over halfway there. I was using different headphones. It must be on my end, Dennis says. So there's that. Yep, probably so. Jackie says, audio's good. So back at it.
All right. Morning, Jackie.
They will deliver you up to tribulation and kill you, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. Verse 10, and then many will be offended, will betray one another, and will hate one another. Then many false prophets will rise up and deceive many. And because lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow. Will grow cold, sorry. I just didn't want to put a pause there. Verse 13, but he who endures to the end shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all the world as a witness to all the nations, and then the end will come.
Boy, that sure does sound a lot like what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just
I'll
going
tell
to
you.
say, man.
And it is worldwide.
Oh, yeah,
It is.
Every nation.
it is.
Now, again, reading through these, don't lose heart.
Right. Don't grow cold.
Don't grow cold.
Isn't that what it said?
Yeah.
Many.
The love of many will grow cold.
That's the last thing you want to do.
Keep your love hot. Yeah, I mean that sounded weird, but you guys know what I mean. Sorry, make a little
Yes,
slurpy sound.
we do.
The Great Tribulation. Therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel, the prophet, standing in the holy place, whoever reads, let him understand. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let him who is on the housetop not go down to take anything out of his house. And let him who is in the field not go back to get his clothes. But woe to those who are pregnant and those who are nursing babies in those days. And pray that your flight may not be in winter or on the Sabbath. For then there will be a great tribulation, such as not been seen since the beginning of the world until this time. No, nor ever shall be. And unless those days were shortened, no flesh would be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days will be shortened.
Is that saying that we all would grow cold if it was prolonged too
Yeah,
long?
probably.
I guess we would be going against one another. Our hearts would be cold, or is that going against another brother, or both?
I assume that it would be our love. I think it's what he's talking about.
Our love will go cold.
Yeah, he's saying that if it was prolonged, if these hard times were prolonged for too long, no one would be saved because
everybody would be like full of hate.
Yeah, we would all grow cold,
which is the opposite of love,
and lose love.
Right.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I mean, I do feel a lot like it'd be nice to run to the hills.
Yeah.
You see a lot of these. You notice how some things are picking up in popularity, like bushcraft, survival, off-grid homesteading, getting way far away from everything.
Survival kits.
All of this land being bought up, there's people trying to buy up entire neighborhoods because people are fleeing the high populous areas. And like I was talking about before, our politics are going to change because people don't look back like they used to on history. They want to erase it. And people won't run from the cities because the conditions there are so bad, and then realize when they're here that it's the politics of those things. It's the evil.
It's the leadership.
Yeah, the leadership and the evil ways of them and the corruption that are making it the way it is. And that and they won't look back on history and learn from that. They'll come here and want the politics here to be as they are there.
Yeah.
Without making the connection that those politics are what made it that way. I'm not talking about Democrat or Republican. I'm talking about the things that we try to enforce upon one another.
Yeah. Larry Milton says they are teaching our kids to hate each other now. And they are.
That's true.
Yeah.
And
it's as a matter of curriculum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or gender identity.
Like there was an issue with parents wanting to see what the curriculum is, and the teacher's saying, no, you don't have a right to see it.
Yeah.
Or there's a gender identity situation going on.
I remember when I was little, I didn't see race as a thing. I remember I could recognize that we all seemed a little different from each other, but nobody was exempt from being different than me. Nobody was exempt from my seeing each and every individual I encountered as different than me.
Mm-hmm.
But valuable. I mean, no less valuable than any other. I don't remember when I was a child, I never looked at things that way. And I don't know where recognizing it as something significant ever came into my conscious being. But it was somewhere along the way that we get corrupted by these things.
Yeah.
And now they want to teach us as children. The only time when children, the only time in your life where you don't have to confront those issues, now they want to introduce it there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the powers that be, if you will, don't want the racial divide to disappear.
Yeah, I don't think they do.
Because it's a form of crowd control and mind control.
Powers,
yeah. And that may sound a little, what do they call that? Conspiracy theorist kind of way. But I think that like the media, social and mainstream, all of it, they want to keep us divided.
Yeah.
Because if we were to actually unite as a people, as Americans, not African Americans, not European Americans, American, because I'm American. I was born here.
Mm-hmm.
I love this country because we have it way better than most. I saw a picture of somebody on a like $2,000 laptop with a sticker on the back saying "Smash Capitalism" while they were drinking an $8 coffee from a very well-known coffee place. And it was all about anarchy and activists, smash capitalism. And I just think that's ironic.
These are all tricks of the enemy.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. And it's like, you don't see what I love capitalism. I love that anybody, if they hit it just right, will be able to soar in this country.
Right.
I don't love capitalism. I love liberty.
Yeah.
And
That's how I look at it.
Well, that's what I love
and
about
responsibility.
what capitalism is. I mean, that's one of the things that makes that. Well, I mean, I guess capitalism is different now than what it was.
Yeah.
Like the ability for everybody, each person to, and I think it's also kind of, what do you call it?
I think liberty is better.
Deceiving.
I think those who choose to live in a commune should be able to.
Yeah.
Where they actually practice communism out of compassion and love for each other and out of a commitment to that way of life. We have successful communes here in the United States.
Jim Whining's in the house.
All right.
But that's the thing, is the liberty that you could choose to do that or you could choose not to. Once it becomes a form of government as a matter of law, then it's not quite the same. And if it's a nation's law, where do you escape to? It's not like if you become part of a commune and decide this isn't for me, you can just leave it and go somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
And you can participate in capitalism.
Right.
And actually, communes can't really survive well without some form of capitalist. They have to capitalize on something,
Yeah.
in order to sustain themselves, because it's very difficult. I mean, I hear people, like you said, and then what clothes were they wearing?
Yeah.
With the computer and the coffee, what clothes were they wearing?
Probably expensive.
Yeah,
clothes.
Try making those yourself.
Yeah.
Before everything in your drawer is worn out.
Yeah. Well, okay, so we had a relative.
Yeah.
That was talking about how this country sucks and, wants to live in the woods. And you pointed out, okay, so how are you going to make your pots and pans? Do you know how to build a mold out of a certain kind of sand?
Yeah.
And make clay pots, or how are you going to do that? Or are you going to go into town and utilize the free market, like, and the textiles and things like that, blankets? What are you gonna do for all that? Yeah. So you rely on the same thing that you hate, I guess.
Even animal skins, if you the reason you hate capitalism is because you have to work too much, think again. You go out into the wilderness and have to, tanning a hide is something that has to be done in a timely fashion, or else it rots.
Yeah.
And if that's all you have for clothing, unless you learn how to make cloth, what plants are you going to use? How are you going to, you're going to have to, you will be working from sun up to sundown, and most of the times before and after both.
Free market, Dennis Everson says.
Yeah, free market. I think liberty. But anyway, we do have to go to a commercial because this is our sponsor, and we're grateful for their
They're sponsoring the $100 for this week.
Yep.
Flipping. Queen City Insane Asylum is a semi-pro football team. So, and they are the ones who sponsored the $100 for this week's giveaway. And pray that your flight may not be in the winter of got it. 23.
Which verse was that?
Then if anyone says to you, verse 23, look, here's a Christ, or there, do not believe it. For false Christs and false prophets will rise up and show great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect. See, I have told you beforehand. Therefore, if they say to you, look, he is in the desert, do not go out, or look, he is in the inner rooms. Do not believe it. For as the lightning comes from the east and flashes to the west, so also will the coming of the Son of Man be. For wherever the carcass is, there the eagles will be gathered together. And I think also, eagles are, I think that I've seen it as vultures in other translations. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the heaven, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven. And then all the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he will send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they will gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heaven to the other. Now, this is where we came up with the prepare for summer. And I want to get this up, because I want to make sure that, we touch base on this. Now, learn this parable from the fig tree. When its branch has already become tender and puts forth leaves, you know that summer is near. So you also, when you see all these things, know that it is near, at the doors. Assuredly, I say to you, this generation will by no means pass away till all these things take place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will by no means pass away. So his words will endure forever. His word endures forever.
Amen.
I think that the words that speak the most to me right now, considering where I am and what's happening in my life, are verses 11 and 12. 12 and 13. And because lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold. But he who endures to the end shall be saved. Endures in love. And I do feel a coldness.
Yeah.
I do feel a coldness coming through me. And I think that's important to distinguish, is that it is coming through me. There is a coldness growing in me, and I don't want that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's the opposite of love. Love is warmth and compassion.
Yeah.
Caring, reaching out, having grace and mercy.
Empathy.
Like all
sympathy.
of the things that God had for me. And how can I forget that? And allow myself to grow cold when God was so graceful and merciful
to you.
Yeah. And made such great sacrifice, and whose heart was broken for us.
Literally.
How can I say that it's okay for me to grow cold?
Yeah. Well, man, great topic of conversation today.
Yes.
Let's be ready and not lose heart, because whatever's happening, it'll probably get worse.
Sorry.
But don't lose heart. So, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us on the Morning Drive today. We'll be back on tomorrow, same time, same channel. Be sure and tune in next for what is next? What is today?
Learning curve.
The learning curve. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Are you sticking around for the learning curve?
Yeah, I will.
Okay. Well, we can also continue
I got a
this.
doctor's appointment in town, so
We can also continue this conversation. On that. So,
right.
Until then, my friends, God bless you and keep you. We love you. My name is Matt.
My name is Jay.
My name is Steve.
And this has been
The Morning Drive.